G'day folks, Ben from Zoe's today showing you how easy it is to set up this 23ZERO Sabre Pro rooftop tent.
Hit it.
This tent features 2 latches to make setup and pack down really easily, loads of space inside so you can leave heaps of bedding for transport, and has multiple built-in mounting options on the side for awning brackets and accessories. Before we dive in, we've got loads more content like this on our channel, so make sure you like and subscribe below. Now let's jump into the product. We are down here at the Sydney National 4x4 and Outdoor Show on the 23ZERO stand, looking at some of their new and old products, and this guy is one of the new ones to extend their Sabre range of rooftop tents. This is the Sabre Pro. Now this guy's got a fully TIG welded aluminium shell on it, and it's a hard shell rooftop tent, so it's got one pivoting point. Weighs around about 90 kilos. This is an early model. They're making some tweaks to it. The weight's going to be around about 90 kilos. Measures 230 centimeters from end to end, 140 centimeters in width. And it's about 26 centimeters in height from the bottom here to the very top. But you can also mount these roof rails on top of this bracket here if you like, which is going to lift it up about another 2.5 to 3 centimeters. We're showing you how to set this up and pack it away today. So we're coming around to the end here to get that process started. Now we've got our ladder on the outside. You can fit this inside if you like, but it's probably handy to have this packed inside the back of your car. This is a collapsible ladder. That way you can pull it out, hook it on the back of your car, ready for setup. Now to set this up, simple as 2 latches. So we've got a latch on this side that we release. It's an over center latch that releases from this top section here. Same on the other side here. Release this, and we can now just grab the handle in the middle, give this a bit of a push. The struts on the side will take over and lift the tent. Now we're about halfway set up from this point here. Now the final versions of this will have an elastic strap around here to pull all this fabric in. You'll need to pull that strap and just hook it down around the base here. There's an extra part of this tent now that comes out the front here. So if we just reach inside, we can see we've got this pole section here. So this folds forward. Now if we pull this out the front here, and as we do it, we watch the little latches in the corner. These will pop into place on each side. So that's locked that into place there. Same on the other side here. Just pull it till that locks into place there. And then we extend this out, just give it a push till it sits firm, lock it on each side there. And then we grab our extendable or flexible poles that are sitting inside here and go back to the outside of the tent. Now this is how this fly or this awning looks on this version of the tent, but they are talking about some potential changes, but this is how it looks at this stage. So these fit inside these little slots in the base here. So push that in so it sits nice and firmly into place. And then the grommet on top of the awning here sits over the top, so that just pulls that out like this. That goes on each side here. And that's things pretty much set up on the outside. There is a boot bag that comes with your 23ZERO Sabre Pro. So this guy here, quite a well-equipped boot bag. So it's got a big pocket with mesh on the bottom, 4 little pockets at the front here, and it's got a sail track on the back here and a couple of clips. So you could clip this in the ladder mount there if you like, but it's also got this sail track here to mount these sail tracks that are welded on the back here. So you've got one here and one on the other side of the ladder, so you could get an extra boot bag if you wanted to have one on each side. Moving inside the tent, I'll show you a few things in there. You've got 3 doorways that you can set up with either a solid or a mesh panel. So this has got one zip that does up both of them together, and then within that you've got a mesh panel, a solid panel that can be zipped down to expose the mesh. You've got one on these on each side. You've got another roll down door at this end here that you can adjust, solid and mesh panels. And then above that, you've got a roof vent as well. You can unzip that completely or leave it just as mesh. Really good for ventilation inside the rooftop tents here, or zip it closed if you like. So a few setup options there for ventilation and just to make it comfortable inside the tent. The last thing I want to show you is the lighting. So you get this LED strip included here. It attaches with this Velcro strip at the top here. And that plugs in with just a standard 6mm plug there, so you can use any sort of wiring loom that you like, but you will get a switch included, be different than the one we've got here, but you can scroll through different light settings. And it's just a USB port that attaches to. So I've got that attached to a power bank here at the moment. Alternatively, you do get integrated power in the rooftop tent here. So down in this corner here, we've got this port here where we've got a cigarette plug and also a couple of USB ports. That correlates to a little access point underneath, a cable access point that comes up through the base of the tent, so you can wire this here and plug your power straight into here. On top of that, if we jump to the other side of the tent, we can see that down in the same position on the opposite side, we've got this little box here. It's got mounting ports there, so we can take the power, the plugs from the other side, put it on this side, and then inside here is where our little power lug from underneath comes up through. So our power loom comes up here into our plugs, and we've got power inside the tent. So which side you use is largely dependent on where the power is positioned on your vehicle. There's one other option for setup that I'm just going to show you. You don't have to use it, but it adds a little bit of stability and tension to the setup. So you get this extendable pole here. So it's got a C-clip on one end, there's a releasable latch here, and this extends out. So this C-clip goes on this U-pole that we extended out the front at the start. So we clip that on there, then bend this up here and put it through this loop at the top here. This is an adjustable loop, and you want to line it up with this reinforced patch on the top here. And if we extend that out, you can see that that just creates a bit more tension through here, so that it pushes that right out further, creates a bit more tension on the outside as well. You don't have to put that in place, but it is an optional extra if you want to use it. So that's the Sabre Pro setup. That was pretty easy. You can see I packed this up, or set it up, sorry, with this sleeping bag inside. I'm going to leave it inside for pack up as well to show you how easily it packs up with this inside, and you'll still be able to fit extra pillows and possibly a second sleeping bag in here if you like. So steps for pack up are firstly to remove this pole that we've just put in place. Then we can take the flexible awning poles out, put them inside the tent, and we want to collapse this front section of the tent forward. Now collapsing this down is easiest done if you first release the top section and let that just slide down so that there's not too much tension at the top here. And then we need to push these buttons in to release the frame. You might need to put just a little bit of forward motion on that for that to release. Same on the other side here, a little bit of forward motion. If we just push that in and just kind of let it hang, you shouldn't need to force it down, it'll just hang there with the fabric ready to pack up. Now from this point, we would normally have an elastic strap that we'd pull out and put around this part of the fabric here to pull all this in to reduce the amount of fabric that's sticking out the sides, but you still don't really need it because it packs up pretty easily without it anyway. So from here we grab our strap that's hanging down the front of the tent here and pull this down, a little bit of muscle to get it started, and then it runs pretty smoothly. Then you've got this big handle on the front here to keep pulling down on that one. And we can see on the sides here, the fabric's sticking out a little bit. You could go walk around and tuck that in if you like, but if you actually just put your hand in, there's heaps of space inside there, and just tuck the fabric in on each side like this, and just make sure none of it's hanging out the sides. And then at the end here, grab our strap and bundle this up, and you can just stuff this in the end here, make sure there's no fabric sticking out the ends here as well. Remember, there's a big bulky minus 15 degree sleeping bag in here. We can now just put a little bit of pressure down on this. Come to the sides here, a little bit of downward pressure here, just to get that latch into place. If this is tough or it doesn't go over easy, it probably means something's stuck under here, you got fabric. So go around and check again if you're having to put too much muscle into this. Same on the other side, a little bit of pressure, shouldn't need too much for that to be able to latch closed. And that's the Sabre Pro packed up and ready for transport. That was really easily done all by myself with that sleeping bag inside. You could fit an extra sleeping bag, extra pillows inside, very easily to pack that away, and you could fit the ladder inside as well if you wanted. From here though, I'd recommend packing the ladder up, putting it in the back of your vehicle so it's ready for when you go to set the tent up again. That's the Sabre Pro from 23ZERO. Pretty spick looking rooftop tent that's going to make your camp setup on your vehicle look really polished. Check them out online at snowies.com.au.